What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It's time now for the Saturday edition of the Weather Update for Saturday, June 15th, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where we talk about the daily weather in the United States. Some days we do full videos, some days we just do YouTube shorts talking about the severe weather threats, and we even talk about climate as well. Hence our name, Climate Data Report. If you're new to the channel, subscribe down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Of course, hit that notification bell so you're notified when I do my videos. And of course, share these videos with anyone you know and leave a comment down below. Alright, the big story that is going to be taking the weather headlines in the United States over the next week is going to be the heat that is coming for the Northeast and the Midwest. You can see this headline here talks about residents preparing for a heat wave that's coming for the Midwest and the Northeast, and it is going to be not just a couple days, it is going to be a long duration extended heat wave. We've been talking about it here on this channel for some time now, and it's pretty much locked in place at this time. In fact, we are starting to see the first excessive heat watches go up now for portions of Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. That's just the very beginning. That will become expansive over many, many states. This is a heat wave that is going to last several days. Now, while we're talking about that, take a look at what's going on up here in Montana and Idaho. Yes, you do see some winter-like activity going on there as well. Yes, these are winter storm watches. There's even freeze warnings up for portions of northern California and southern Oregon. Yeah, crazy, isn't it? But in the meantime, the bigger story, it's really going to be the heat that's going to happen in the east. But also, you are going to have down here along the Gulf Coast some flooding rainfall that may occur across portions of Louisiana, Texas, and there's going to be another area of concern in the upper Midwest. We'll go over all this today. Taking a look at the current radar picture, we can see one area of rainfall is going through Minneapolis right now, in portions of Minnesota, even in Iowa, you're seeing some rainfall as well today. Kansas, take a look at this. Some shower and thunderstorm activity, and there are some risk areas to be concerned about. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Tropical activity. There is a 7-day 50% chance area just off the Mexico coast of the Gulf of Mexico, and that is something we'll have to watch, and something you do not see here that's getting a little bit interesting. Not terribly concerned just yet. There could be a disturbance out here in the Atlantic north of the Bahamas. GFS is trying to show that. I'll show that to you in just a little bit. All right, taking a look now at the storm reports from yesterday. Yesterday was a bit active in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast region. There were some severe thunderstorms. We had some storms move through here in Northeast Philadelphia. I had just over 6/10 of an inch of rain yesterday. Well needed rainfall, and I'll show you why when we get to the drought portion. We're going to look at the drought monitor today, and you'll see there's a little dry patch in this area. All right, taking a look at what is going on over today, and we can see here across portions of the northern plains, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and even Wyoming, there is a slight risk of severe weather. Crazy, isn't it? Look at that. There's a slight risk of severe weather there, but if we go back, we can see just to the west of there, there's winter storm watches. What a wild weather pattern up in that area right now. There's going to be some big swings in a lot of places, and we can also see there's a slight risk of severe weather today across portions of Iowa, Kansas, and even portions of Nebraska as well. And the threats for today are as follows. Each of these risk areas have a 5% area for tornado. There is a hatched area for wind across portions of North Dakota, South Dakota. And then you can see here there also is the risk of hail. It's 15% there. And there's also a risk of hail in the other threat area as well. But now we have to move on to day 2, which would be tomorrow. There is another risk of severe weather, and this time it does go from portions of Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Iowa, and even Wisconsin. With this, at the moment, no threat of tornadoes. It's less than 2%. There is a wind threat and there is a hail threat. There's also a marginal risk area that does extend all the way down to Texas. There's even a day 3 threat up there. And if we go to day 4, there is another threat. It's going to be very active. Why is it going to be so active? Well, you have that ridge that's setting up. And on top of the ridge, any disturbance that comes through is going to trigger showers and thunderstorms. Let's take a look at the threat for today into tomorrow, and we're taking a look at the FV3 model. You can see here, some showers do continue across central Florida, showers and thunderstorms. Southern Florida, you're finally getting a break. I mean, there still will be some isolated pop-ups, but nothing like you saw this past week. That was, oh, such a wet week. I think, if anything, it overperformed. There were some places that got over 20 inches of rain. I even saw one report saying 28 inches of rainfall. That's crazy. All right, taking a look now here at the FV3 model, you can see here showers and thunderstorms into Dakotas this evening, and showers and thunderstorms do evolve across Kansas and portions of Oklahoma on this model, even in Texas. And take a look here in Iowa and Minnesota. You do see here numerous showers and thunderstorms, and I do think the threat for hail it's going to be there this evening. As we advance this into tomorrow, you can see there is some locally very heavy rainfall across portions of Iowa. We do want to take a look at rainfall amounts from this model. Look at that. Anywhere from a widespread 2 to 4, even locally 5+ inches of rain, because you are going to have a training effect. So there will be some storms that train with very heavy rainfall rates. All right, taking a look at the Sunday threat for severe weather, you can see here on Sunday a couple things happen. First off, you do have showers and thunderstorms that move out of the Gulf of Mexico along to the Gulf Coast of Florida, Alabama, even portions of Mississippi and Louisiana, and that's the start of what's going to be a very wet stretch as a southern flow sets up that will shift westward towards Texas as time goes on. You can also see the FV3 is not terribly impressed with tomorrow's severe storm threat, but you can see it is there across portions of the northern plain. This threat will likely continue into tomorrow night, and you can see here, yet again, there is the risk of very heavy rainfall, and first thing Monday morning, check out this on the FV3 model. Yes, some heavy showers and thunderstorms moving into portions of Louisiana, and that may consolidate into heavy rainfall. All right, speaking of the heavy rainfall, here's the Weather Prediction Center Day 1 slight risk area for portions of the upper Midwest. And you can see here, there's definitely going to be some localized flash flooding. Day 2, that continues as well. What you see on day 2, look at that. You don't even have a marginal risk in Florida on day 2. There is one for today, but you don't have one for tomorrow. And taking a look here across portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and extreme southern Alabama, you do have a slight risk tomorrow. As once again in the plains, and then moving on to day 3, you can see portions of Minnesota really do go into the epicenter of the area on top of that ridge, where again any disturbance that comes through is going to produce showers and thunderstorms, and slight risk continues across the Gulf Coast region. It would not surprise me if one of the days next week there is a moderate risk of excessive rainfall across portions of Louisiana and even Mississippi or southern Alabama, because this is a relatively impressive setup. How much rainfall are we talking? Well, let's just fast forward over to the next days 1 through 7. Take a look at this. Yes, along the immediate Gulf Coast, including Texas, anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of rain, with localized areas of up to 10 inches of rainfall, especially near Louisiana. But it doesn't stop there. Look at what's going on here in the upper Midwest. You are seeing widespread 5 to 7 inches of rainfall, which is a ton of rainfall. And locally, there is an area here in Minnesota that is showing 7+ inches of rainfall. What's not good to see is, take a look here in the Mid-Atlantic. Not much in the way of precipitation. There's a reason for that, because of the heat that is going to come into play. Very dry there. We saw a little bit of precipitation yesterday. We took that. We accepted it because now it's going to get very dry there. And look at California. Very dry for you, so that's concerning as well. Taking a look now at the precipitation on the GFS over the next several days. You can see here that heavy precipitation, it does set up showers and thunderstorms in Louisiana, and that eventually pushes its way to the west, where that potential tropical disturbance could develop. I don't know that it will actually become a named system, but check out this. The GFS does try to show some sort of a tropical disturbance in the Atlantic, and that does develop on the GFS up to near Jacksonville to a depression or tropical storm. And you can see here, as we head through the week, this moisture flow, it just continues across portions of Texas. And something else that continues are the showers and thunderstorms in the upper Midwest and northern plains. And that is going to continue for several days, even as we head into next weekend. And when finally, maybe a cold front will come into the northeast. All right, moving on now. Taking a look at the GFS. I wanted to show the ensemble of the GFS today. We can see here a couple of the members do develop an area of low pressure in the Gulf of Mexico. A couple of members also do, more than a couple of members, a few members do develop that system in the Atlantic. It's not going to be a strong system, but hey, it's something we have to watch. It's showing up on the ensemble, which is basically the GFS ran again and again and again several times, and it does show that somewhere between Jacksonville, Florida, and South Carolina, there could be a disturbance that hits the Atlantic. Now let's take a look at the heat that is going to build in the east. You can see here, I have this on the 500 millibar level of the GFS, and we're taking a look here at these reds. That's the ridge that's building. Watch what happens as I advance this. All is calm in the northeast right now. It's a beautiful Saturday, 70s and 80s, low humidity, low dew points. But as I advance this, you can see a large ridge forms. There's an area of high pressure in the Atlantic, and with that, southwesterly flow behind it. And you can see the ridge, it really builds Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's that little system underneath there, if that actually does develop. And you can see here, Saturday, it finally starts to break down a little bit, but honestly, it's still going to be hot in the east at that point. And now when we take a look at the temperatures, let's pull that up, shall we? And I'll show you these temperatures. It's not going to be pleasant. You can see here we are at Sunday. And then as we head into Monday, you can see here, starting to get warmer up at New York City and across portions of southern New England. And then by the time we get into Tuesday, everyone is in the upper 80s or 90s, and some places even go into the mid-90s. You can see all the East Coast, very hot conditions as we head into Wednesday. That continues as we head into Thursday. It continues as well. Friday continues to be hot. You can see right over here across D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, mid-90s. And finally, as we head into Saturday, I mean, it tries to cool off a little bit across portions of Maine, but really, you're still stuck in it. You have to wait until Sunday. Sunday is really the day where it pushes south a little bit, but really, once you get south of the Mason-Dixon line, look at the southeast. Still mid to upper 90s for you. And then Monday, finally, maybe a sigh of relief. So you're talking about a good 7 days of 90-plus degree temperatures along the I-95 corridor, even longer if you're in the southeast. And heat indexes could get at or above 100 degrees in many different areas. And well beyond that, there's going to be a cool down. But take a look. Look what's happening here in the plains. More heat is building, and at some point, that's going to come back to the east as well. Taking a look at the drought monitor, you can see here on the drought monitor, there are some areas of yellow starting to show up in the East Coast. Four Corners region, you could do with some rain, as could Southwest Texas, and any rain that falls in the northern Rockies, that would also be a welcome as well. You are dealing with some drought conditions as well. Taking a look at what is going on here with the temperature outlook, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, well above average in the Northeast. That's where that life-threatening, I'm calling it a life-threatening heat wave will be underway, because really, you need to take it easy. 7 days in a row of heat with low temperatures that will not drop much at night, upper 60s to mid-70s at nighttime. That's not really all that cool. And some places along the 95 corridors could see temperatures that don't get below 80 at nighttime. It's quite possible when you have that urban heat island effect that will be going on. Slightly above average precipitation around where that ridge is, and of course down on the Gulf Coast as well, below average in the Carolinas, and below average in Nevada as well. Then when we take a look at 8 to 14 day temperature outlook, above average continues across portions of the east. There will be a little break in between, but again, as you saw, more heat may start to build in the plains, and eventually that's going to push eastward. And then just equal chances of slightly above average precipitation across much of the country, with portions of the Gulf Coast, again, well above average and below average out on the West Coast. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's weather update. We'll have another one again tomorrow. Follow me on my X page at Climate Data Report. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Want to see more content like this? Subscribe down below, hit that notification bell, share this with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until then, have a great day, and thanks for watching.